You had a bad day. Maybe your boss said something that stuck with you. Maybe you got some news that shook you a little. Maybe you just felt that familiar cloud of anxiety settling in. And instead of calling a friend, instead of sitting with it, you opened an app. You typed out exactly how you felt, and something on the other side responded instantly. No judgment, no awkward silence, no unsolicited advice, no waiting 3 weeks for an appointment, just words, calm, understanding, available. And for a moment, maybe even a long moment, it actually felt like enough. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Nearly half of all American adults have now used artificial intelligence for emotional support in the past year. Half. And most of them have never told a single person they did it. Today, on Psychology Unlocked, we need to have an honest conversation about what is actually happening inside your brain when you turn to AI for emotional support. Because the science tells a story that nobody in Silicon Valley wants you to hear. Let's unlock this. Your brain is one of the most sophisticated social organs ever to exist on this planet. Over 200,000 years of human evolution, your brain was shaped by one single survival requirement above all others: human connection, not food, not shelter, not even safety, connection. Early humans who were isolated from their tribe died. Early humans who maintained deep social bonds survived, reproduced, and pass their neurology down to you, which means your brain today is running on ancient hardware that was literally wired for human-to-human contact, not human-to-algorithm contact. When you share something painful with another human being, something specific happens in your brain. Your brain releases a chemical called oxytocin. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone. But it is far more powerful than that simple label suggests. Oxytocin does not just make you feel warm. It actively repairs your nervous system after stress. It lowers your cortisol levels, cortisol being the primary stress hormone in your body. It reduces inflammation in your brain tissue. It strengthens your immune response. It literally, biologically, heals you at a cellular level. And oxytocin is only triggered by one specific thing: genuine human presence, eye contact, voice tone, touch, shared silence. The imperfect, fumbling, beautifully human experience of being truly witnessed by another person. Here is what your brain does not do when you talk to an artificial intelligence system. It does not release oxytocin, not one molecule, because your brain, as sophisticated as it is, knows the difference. Deep in your limbic system, the ancient emotional core of your brain, there is a detection mechanism that neuroscientists call social presence recognition. It is constantly scanning your environment and asking one fundamental question: is there a real human here? When the answer is no, the healing does not happen. The cortisol does not drop. The inflammation does not reduce. The nervous system does not repair. You feel heard, but you are not healed. And this is where it gets genuinely dangerous. Neuroscientist Dr. Matthew Lieberman at UCLA has spent decades studying what happens to the human brain when social needs go unmet. His research shows that unmet social needs activate the same neural pathways as physical pain. Your brain does not distinguish between a broken bone and a broken connection. Both register as damage. Both demand repair. Now consider what happens when you consistently meet that need for connection with something that feels like connection, but biologically is not. Your brain gets just enough relief to stop seeking the real thing. Just enough. Like drinking salt water when you are thirsty. It satisfies the sensation of drinking, but it makes the dehydration dramatically worse. Psychologists call this a substitution behavior. And research published in the Journal of Social Psychology in 2024 found something deeply concerning. Adults who regularly used AI for emotional support reported feeling significantly more lonely 6 months later. Not less. Not the same. More. Because every conversation with an artificial system trained your brain to expect responses that are perfectly calibrated to make you feel good. No misunderstandings. No defensiveness, no moments where the other person makes it about themselves, no human imperfection whatsoever, And then you go back into the real world, where your friend says the wrong thing, where your partner is tired and distracted, where the conversation does not go the way you needed it to, and your brain, freshly calibrated by hundreds of perfect AI interactions, finds real human connection increasingly unsatisfying, increasingly frustrating, increasingly not worth the effort. This is not a theory. This is a measurable neurological shift. Researchers at Stanford University studying social reward processing found that repeated exposure to algorithmically optimized social interactions reduces the brain's tolerance for natural human imperfection. In simple terms, the more perfect your digital relationships feel, the more broken your real ones start to seem. And here is the cruelest part of all of this. The people most likely to turn to AI for emotional support are the people who are already the most lonely, the most anxious, the most socially exhausted, the people whose nervous systems need real human oxytocin the most desperately. They find AI, it feels like relief, and it quietly makes everything worse. So what does the science actually say you should do? 3 things. The first is to use AI for information, never for intimacy. Ask it to explain your anxiety. Ask it to help you understand what you are feeling, but do not ask it to be the one who cares. That role belongs to humans, and your brain needs humans to fill it. The second is to practice what researchers call tolerating imperfect connection. The next time a real conversation feels unsatisfying, stay in it anyway. The discomfort you feel is not evidence that the connection is broken. It is evidence that your brain is recalibrating back to something real. Real connection is supposed to feel imperfect. That imperfection is exactly what triggers the healing. The third is to notice how you feel after. After an AI conversation, do you feel more connected to the people in your life, or less? Do you feel more willing to reach out to a real person, or less? Your honest answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about whether this tool is helping you or quietly hollowing you out. Your brain was not built for perfect conversations. It was built for real ones, messy ones, uncomfortable ones, ones where someone says exactly the wrong thing at exactly the wrong moment, and somehow, through all of that imperfection, you still feel less alone. That is what heals you. That is what your nervous system has been waiting for since the day you were born. No algorithm can give you that. Only another human being can. This is Psychology Unlocked. If this video made you think about how you have been meeting your own need for connection, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe for a new unlocked truth every single week. And drop a comment below. Have you ever talked to an artificial intelligence about something deeply personal? Tell me how it made you feel. I read every single one. This is Psychology Unlocked, and your mind is just getting started.